Boop, 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 boop. All right, welcome back to Bodybuilding and BS, guys. I got some good stories for you. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It's Monday. I hope everyone's having a great day, kicking the week off on the right foot. This weekend, we had the guest posing in Pittsburgh. Every year, Jim Mannion, the president of the IBB MPC, has his show. There's no open bodybuilding at this show, but he does fly in all the guest posers, which are typically the top bodybuilders at the Olympia, everyone that did well at the previous year. He invites them in, and it's a big spectacle because we get to see everyone post the Olympia, off season, or either post Arnold in the middle of their off season. And we had a lot of amazing athletes there this year, and every one of the guest posers was on point. There wasn't a guest poser there this weekend that I believe wasn't prepared. Like, they did not come in looking like Sean Roden from 2018, where Sean looked like crap. Let's be honest here. Sean did not look like he was in shape. Didn't look like he prepared for that guest pose. He looked like he was eating everything. But this year, every guy was on point. Unfortunately, we get to see Rafael Brandao, as I talked about leading up to this. He was sick in the hospital. Hopefully he's doing better. He probably is doing fine now. It looks like he was out training in the gym again. So hopefully he's on the up. We get to see Rafael compete this year. But let's talk about the guys that were there. And let's talk about a couple things, a couple storylines that came out this weekend. The first thing was Samson Dauda was talking about how much he weighed, because everyone was asking how big Samson actually was at this guest posing. So Samson put up a story saying he is 322 pounds. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but last year when Samson got heavy, I believe he said maybe he wasn't going to get this heavy again, or it's not needed, or whatever the case may be. He worked with Milos. Well, here he's 146 kilos, guys. 322 pounds. He's 6 foot. Like, I understand why he's that big. But at the same time, I don't think him getting bigger, like weight-wise, is going to solve any issues with his back. And that is where he needs the meat. It's not necessarily weight he needs to gain. It's just more muscle. Now, if he gains weight from building more muscle, great. But it's not necessary for Samson, I believe, to keep pushing up the weight higher and higher and higher, especially because the way he looks right now. Like, he is by no means like that lean, but he's definitely not fat. I think he's probably borderline fading a little bit more where I would not be comfortable at in the offseason if I was him bodybuilding. I'd probably want to not gain any more body fat than what I'm at right now if I'm Samson. And I'm just being honest. Not that he's fat by any means, but he's soft. Like, he's definitely soft. He's definitely holding a good amount of fluid. Doesn't have much body fat, but listen, fluid is just as dangerous as body fat. You don't want to be holding on to a shitload of water walking around. It's not good for your heart. And for Samson to be 322, man, it's taxing on the joints, the body. It's exhausting to be that heavy, okay? I know what it's like because I was 350. I walked around in 310, 315 all the time. I competed at 270. So I know what it's like being heavy. I was over 300 pounds most of my life. So I know the struggles that come with that. And the daily life is hard. Just putting on clothes, taking a shower, drying yourself off after a shower, putting on socks, putting on pants, finding clothes to fit, sleeping, like eating enough food to be able to not feel like shit because you're just tired all the time from eating and your body working overtime just to be able to live. So if I was Samson, I would not try to gain a fucking ounce. Like, I would not get that body weight up anymore. If anything, I would do my best to keep it exactly where it's at or even a little bit lower. He could lose a little bit of water. He doesn't need to be holding that much weight to get his back bigger. And I think that's the biggest misconception with bodybuilding. Not being a professional bodybuilder, not competing in shows. I'm talking about bodybuilding. You don't need to get heavier to build muscle or bring up weak body parts. It is a myth, okay? You don't need to get heavier. You training, being consistent with your food. If you're using gear, that's another variable, but if you're not, it doesn't matter. You will make progress if your diet's on point. You will build muscle. It just takes time. Sometimes body parts are a little bit slower than other ones to develop, and that's just how it is. Not everyone's going to grow at the same rate in every single body part. I had my dominant body parts that would grow extremely fast and quick. Then I had my body parts that would grow really slow, and I had to like really baby them and have patience for it. Like for instance, I was 6'1". I'm 6'1", not I was. Maybe I'm a little shorter now, but I was 6'1". It took a while for me to build legs. It took a while for me to get a bigger chest because my arms are long and I have a big, upper body. I'm wide. I had broad shoulders and my shoulders would dominate. You can even tell now I'm very shoulder dominant. My chest is good, but it never was the best. And towards the end of my career, I finally was getting my chest to come up and then I tore my pec in my last prep. But these body parts take a lot to fill out. It just takes time and patience and being consistent. It's not necessarily by gaining more weight more times. Like if Samson was 300 pounds right now or 290 and was doing exactly what he was doing, he would still be able to build just as much muscle just as fast. He's not going to build a bigger back because he weighs 322 now versus 340 pounds. It means nothing at the end of the day. And I'm telling you guys with confidence, it means nothing because I've done it myself. When I got super heavy, all it did was give me joint pain, tendonitis, made me extremely tired, not want to do anything, not be able to train at my maximum capacity. My endurance sucked when I was weight training. Could not do anything outside of working out. I was tired. After I worked out, I was fucking exhausted. And then I'm using stimulants and everything else to stay awake and alive throughout the day because I'm not sleeping well. I'm not like, I don't have any energy. You just feel horrible. And your job is literally eating. Like bodybuilding is more so eating than it is training because you're eating 24/7, 365 days a year. You're not training 365 days a year, 24/7. You train for about an hour or two a day. Okay. Not even every day, 5 days a week, let's say. So bodybuilding is basically consumed of eating and resting. That makes the best bodybuilder. Whoever rests the most and eats the most will be the best bodybuilder with the best genetics. That's just how it is. People could train 50% intensity and still be able to make really good progress and still have an amazing physique. Where'd this pimple come from? Just noticed this as I'm on the live stream. Anyway, these are the things I care about now when I get older, pimples. But Samson overall looked really good. He was the biggest guy on that stage. I mean, he made Rami look somewhat normal, if that's even possible, which is mind-blowing scary that you could say that about Samson Dauda, considering where Samson was just a couple years ago, right? I mean, look at him standing next to Rami in this video. I'll show you guys in a second here. Pull it up. Watch when they skip to them across the line. Like, this might not be the best video, but I'll show you the other ones. Like, Samson looks bigger than Rami, which is the scariest shit. Look at that. Look how big Samson is. I mean, he's a freak. He really is a freak. Here's a comparison of him, like obviously Rami's legs are just super fucking freakish, but Samson is just a big bodybuilder. He's a big frame to fill out. And I really do think the next couple of years is going to be a big mixture of Derek and Nick and Samson and Andrew and Hunter and Hadi. Like this title, for sure, if you ask where I'm feeling as far as who's going to win the Mr. Olympia next couple of years, I highly doubt we're going to see one guy come out and dominate. I just don't think so. I think there's too many good bodybuilders. Too much pressure on these guys. Someone's going to slip up. Someone's going to slip in when someone's off. And I think judges more so than ever are willing to reward the best man standing there. Just like how Sean Clarita came out of nowhere last year and got a win in and, placed top 5 at the Arnold. They're rewarding the best physiques more so than ever now. And this is really, really awesome to see because now I think we're going to see guys switch. This title is going to switch a lot of guys' hands. And I think more so than ever, the judges have to be transparent about this because if they're not, they're going to get a lot of pushback from the fans, and I don't think they want that. And I talked to head judge Steve Weinberg. I talked to a lot of these guys, and the judges all across the board, they want to reward the best physique. It's not so much. It's not about. I'm not saying no, not so much. It's not about, as much people think it's about social media, it's not. As much people think it's about popularity, it's not. They want to give the best bodybuilder the fucking champion, the Mr. Olympia title. Just like how Hadi won. Yeah, Hadi's popular, but Hadi is not even living in the USA. Hadi's not even here. But did he win last year? Yeah. I mean, I think he was the better bodybuilder that night over Derek and over Nick. You could have arguably gave it to Derek or Nick, but I still think overall, looking at everything, Hadi was probably one of the best guys there. You can make an argument for other guys, but obviously the judges saw it a particular way. But Samson looked phenomenal. Now, I want to talk about Nick Walker real quick because Nick is doing something that I did not think was going to be possible with his physique. And something's getting smaller on Nick. And no, it's not his muscles. It's actually his waist. And I want to show you guys this. This is, I think, incredible. Let me go to Gilco. So Gilco is a photographer, videographer, does a lot of the bodybuilding shows, NPC, IBB. Go to Gilco Productions on Instagram. You guys can check out his page. He does phenomenal work. Great videographer. Nick here. Look at this. Look at that front double on Nick. Wait till he pulls out the air. Yeah. I mean, if we said Nick Walker would look like this in a couple of years, I don't think anyone would have believed me. I don't think I even thought this was possible for Nick's waist to look this good. I mean, this is superb shit. This is next level work, guys. This is very meticulously controlling what foods he's eating, being very aware of how much food he's eating, being very aware of what ab exercise he's doing, being very aware of what exercise he's doing, compound exercises, so he doesn't blow out his waist. Look how much lower his lats are attaching. Now, remember this. I'm going to show you guys some older photos of Nick, and you guys are going to be blown away. I mean, it's unbelievable what Nick was able to do with his physique. And this is the thing. Nick has amazing genetics, but he doesn't have genetics as far as structure goes. Nick has genetics for the ability to build muscle, but doesn't have the genetics as far as like prettiness and lines and beautiful muscle bellies. He's not blessed with Derek's genetics as far as structure goes, but he's blessed with the genetics as far as his body responding to building muscle, being able to get in shape, becoming a bodybuilder. But he wasn't built from scratch with the best physique. But what Nick was able to do with his physique over the last couple of years has been super impressive because I think I would have to say 100 out of 100 people would not be able to do what Nick did. I think Nick is so confident in his ability and so confident in what he's able to do. This is why this has been possible. Because if Nick ever doubted himself even the slightest bit, this would have never happened. Never. If he took everyone else's advice, even my own, I have to eat my own words. I've said this before. He would never be where he is right now. He would never have the bodybuilding career that he has now. He'd be God knows doing what, like I don't even know, so Nick took it upon himself to show everyone like, hey, I know what I can do. I'm confident in my abilities. And he took over. And he's placing third at the Olympia now. He's winning Arnold's. He won the New York Pro. He almost won the Arnold again. Arguably could have won, should have won. The kid is just really making really good progress. Deserves all the recognition in the world. Very humble about it. You don't see his attitude changing. And some people ask, like, hey, do you think it's because his legs are getting bigger? Do you think it's his lats are getting bigger? The shoulders are getting a little more broad. Maybe that's why his waist looks small. Absolutely. Those things are all true. But I also do think he's being very, very conscious of what he's eating, not overdoing it, knowing that I have to be careful of my waist, knowing and recognizing what he has to do to keep that waist in check. And I think on top of it, the back, the legs, the arms, the shoulders are getting bigger. So I just think Nick's waist is getting tighter, less inflammation in the body. The less inflammation he's going to have in his midsection, the better he's going to look come contest time. And that's just what it is. And he's very, very conscious of what he's eating during the day. And I talk to Nick a lot, even his cheat meals. He's not eating cheat meals that he shouldn't be having, even though he wants it, because he knows his gut isn't digesting it well. And he knows his body can't absorb it and break it down properly. So he's avoiding those foods at all costs because that is only going to backfire on him in the long run if he continues to eat these shit foods that don't work for his body. And I think too many guys are in denial. Too many guys think that, oh, it's no big deal. I just have a little distension. Oh, it doesn't bother me that much. I'm okay. Well, When you look back 3 years, 2 years, even 1 year from where you were, you're going to realize that your waist is blown out now and you should have been more conscious of it. But Nick doesn't let that happen. So I want to show you what Nick's waist used to look like real quick, and we'll go on to the next story. Look what Nick used to look like. Okay, this was the New York Pro in 2021. Look at Nick's front double here. Look where his lats are. Okay, look how crazy this is compared to now. Look at the difference. Look how much longer his torso is versus what it is now. It's incredible, right? I mean, even if you don't like Nick Walker as a bodybuilder, you don't like his physique, you have to recognize that that's a big change. I mean, look at this. That's a big difference. Big difference from what he used to look like 2 years ago. Let's see what he looked like to Olympia that year. Let's see how he looked. Where's the front double? I didn't like the way he was posing this year. Look how much further the lats come down. Look how much tighter his obliques are. And remember, he's in the off season right now, and it looks like this. This is contest time, on stage, peeled to the bone. Can you imagine what he's going to look like coming up at the Olympia now? This is 2020. Look what Nick's stomach looked like. No one thought in a million years Nick could look like the way he looked, looking like this. But look how much the lats are coming down now. They're like down here. The midsection, not growing. If anything, it could be tighter than it is here. Like, it's very, very impressive, and he deserves a lot of recognition for that, because that's very, very hard to do. Most guys are not that aware, that present to understand what they have to do, not do, to avoid that from happening. And so many guys ignore it. They're like, I could still eat that. I need to eat my 17,000 calories a day. Oh, I need to have my cheeseburger and French fries. Like, yeah, you can, but it's not going to end up well. You're not going to look good. Someone else I want to give credit to while we're on this, we're in this good mood right now. Let's talk about Hunter's progression from like a couple of years ago. And even just in a short period of time, with Hunter changing from the shakes to the food, whole food for the most part, from my understanding, Hunter looked really good here. I mean, this is the best I've seen Hunter's overall physique look in a long time. It looks like it's back to life. Now, what do I contribute that to? I contribute this to the food. So I talked about this before, that before he was eating drinking so many shakes. The body needs a lot more than liquid to be able to fill out. So I think a lot of the reason his muscles weren't glycogen loaded, he wasn't getting that pump, his muscles didn't look as full, is because he relied on so much liquid. And yeah, protein shakes work, guys. You're going to get your protein and you're going to grow, because clearly he was growing, right? He's obviously put on a lot of muscle, but the muscles did not look like themselves. Hunter didn't have that fullness, that roundness, that skin bursting look like he used to have when he started to rely on the shakes. His old coach, Brian, they were doing a lot more food, and he was very against him blending food, blending shakes, or anything. So when he started working with Ben, he went more so to the shakes and more blending his food. And blending the food, yeah, you're still getting the protein from the food. I'm not worried about that, because clearly he's absorbing his protein, guys. He's growing. But you're not going to have the same look to the muscle drinking your food all day. It's impossible. The way that you're taking in your food is a big contributor how your body's going to absorb those nutrients. If you're drinking stuff all day, you're not going to get the same effect to the muscle, especially when we're talking about bodybuilding. I'm not talking about some healthy individual that wants to blend their food or drink protein shakes. You can get your protein from protein shakes. It's real, guys. But the thing is, you're not going to look the same drinking shakes all day versus eating whole food all day. There's a huge difference in the way the body absorbs those nutrients. And that's just facts. This is not up for discussion. It's factual. And Hunter is the perfect person to talk about this with, because he literally went from drinking his protein all day to now eating mostly whole food. Look what Hunter looked like. I'll show you guys his photos. Even the inflammation on his body is vastly different. He's not holding nearly as much water. Did you notice he wasn't even sweating during that guest posing? Because he's been eating more whole food. His body is not having an adverse reaction, an inflammatory response, cortisol levels. You can't control those things when you're doing what he was doing. It's impossible. Look how much flatter he is here. Look at the muscles. They're not even pushing against the skin. He's very flat here. And he complained how he can never get full. Well, it's because you're drinking shakes all the time. It's impossible. And look at this. Not good. Not a good look. Look at the stomach here. Look how distended his stomach is. And he's shredded on stage here. Look how distended it is. It's not good. But now he's off season and his stomach is flatter than this. His stomach is flatter than this and drier. Like the midsection never got dry and hard looking. It was always this like watery, soft, pillow looking abs. He never had that dryness to him. Why? The fucking food sources. It's everything. I mean, look how soft his midsection was. You would never think this is a guy on stage at the Olympia with this type of conditioning. Never. Never in a million years. So I think these changes are like big, big contributors to why he looks so much better. And all had to do with the diet, guys. Like, I can talk till I'm blue in the face and stress to you guys how important it is to get your diet on point, but no one's going to listen until you actually learn your lesson. I didn't think it was important when I first started bodybuilding. And as soon as I started following my diet 100% when I was very young, like 22, 23, my entire physique blew up. I was like, holy shit, this is the fucking magic. It's not the fucking drug. It's not this bottle of Tren. It's fucking the food. That's the drug. Because I was relying on just eating out all the time, just measuring my food with my eyes and my hands and like, guessing how much I was eating each day. Shakes whenever I felt like it, it was a really bad routine. I didn't have a regimen. I didn't have a schedule. I didn't have a routine. Once I switched everything over and started actually prioritizing my food intake and what I was eating and managing how much food I was eating, measuring it out, knowing like, okay, I'm here. I need to get to here. If I add a little bit of this, a little more of that, I can get to here and do this, change my look, get a little more fuller, get a little tighter. That's when all the magic happened. That is when all the magic happened. And I can't stress it enough to you guys to try it. And then you can tell me whether or not I'm right. I think most people are just so hesitant thinking it's all drugs. And yes, listen, the drugs are a huge part of it. And they got to be real too. But if you're not eating consistently every day, you're not training with intensity, nothing's going to happen. I can give you this much Tren and Masteron and Primo and Test and growth hormone and Cytomel and whatever you want to take, Halo Testing. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to look like a pile of dog shit. You're going to look horrible. So overly stress the diet and where your food sources are coming from. Because I think too many people underestimate the power of food. Too many people underestimate how important it is to eat on a regiment, routine, consistent, and do it again. The hardest part about bodybuilding is literally just being consistent. So many people get mind fucked because they're like doing this for a year. They only look a little different. They do it for 2 years. They look a little bit different. And they're like, there's got to be an easier way. And then you all get frustrated. You all start hiring coaches, taking more drugs, thinking it's going to speed things up. And then before you know it, you're a fucking nuke bomb about to explode. Because you literally drove yourself into the ground trying to change things when all you had to do was be consistent. And now you're a year later and you could have been that much further along, but now you set yourself back because you got injured or your health's bad or whatever happened. If more people were just consistent and blocked out all the noise and the bullshit, there'd be so many more good bodybuilders. But so many of you fall into the trap of thinking that there's some secret, there's a secret coach, there's a secret drug stack, there's a secret to dieting. What the secret is? Don't get sidetracked. Stay consistent and just keep doing it, and you will eventually get there if you're supposed to get there. I can't control the people that don't have good genetics. There's a lot of people. Most people don't have good genetics for bodybuilding. Everyone can build muscle. Everyone can get in shape. Now, for some people, it's a little harder. Some people, it's a little easier. But again, you can do it if you just follow the rules and the guidelines and the programs that people give you. It's possible. And some people need a little bit more. Some people need a little bit less. Some need to do more cardio. Some need to train a little bit more, a little harder, a little longer, a little heavier. It just all depends on the person. And it's very individualized, these things. And don't tell me because my friend did it, I can do it. It's bullshit. All right, so Nick Hunter. Let's talk about Iain real quick before we go to the next topic. So This is not a fun conversation to have. Let me explain to you guys right now. This is not fun to talk about Iain Valliere's back, how it's receding pretty much like my hair. It's not fun. Like I don't get enjoyment out of talking about how Ian's back doesn't look as good as it used to, or it's how it's going backwards, or it's not fun to talk about these things. But you guys need to hear what the reality of the situation is. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you guys a bunch of shit either, because then you guys will get mad if I'm lying to you. So let's talk about what's going on here. Let me pull up this clip for you guys. So this is the clip from the guest posing on Saturday. Okay, this was Ian's guest posing appearance at Fouad Abiad's show. I just put a clip on Instagram talking about it. So he only hits a couple poses, I think 4 or 5 poses. So first of all, I want to comment on his conditioning. I think he's got like, I don't know how many more weeks, 2 maybe. I think New York's next weekend and Toronto's maybe the following weekend. He might have 3 weeks. It's hard to tell with these photos and videos if his conditioning's on point. This is the thing. I'm very skeptical of saying that he's not in shape or on point because he's working with Matt. And Iain is usually inside out shredded. I've really never seen Iain off except for this past year's Olympia when the whole entire shit show happened. But he wasn't even really off there either. Like he was still shredded. He just wasn't peaked properly. Like his peak went bad. Clearly he got in his head and things fell apart. But I don't think he's going to be off at this Toronto Pro. And plus, I just found out that that guy Hassan Mustafa is doing that show. That's going to be a tall task. I mean, that's going to be, especially Chad's prepping him. So the front shot looks good. Typical Iain. He's going to hit his side chest here in a second. Pulls up the side chest. Looks good. Typical Iain. When he turns around, that's where the story starts to make a turn for the worse. So right away, I can look at his back and tell you there's something going on. You know why? You guys can see my cursor, right? I can tell you right now there's something going on just by looking at this, okay? The unevenness of his back. And that tells me there's some type of disc or impingement issue because things are not symmetrical from left to right on his back. Let's continue the clip. And as soon as he starts to pull back, you can see that where the attachments are, they're not even. I'm actually going to back this up a little bit more. As soon as he starts to pull back, you see this? You guys see this, right? You see how the attachments here versus here? Okay, that tells me there's something going on, disc issue, impingement. It's causing some type of atrophy in the muscle. I had the same problem. I don't have any atrophy, thank God. Then when he hits the actual rear double, you guys can see most of his erectors are gone. His lower back's gone. Mid back's gone. This should be down to here. Like, and you notice how this side's a lot lower than this one. They're not even equal. This is not good. This is not good, and it's definitely not any better. And Ian's ham and calves. He had calves. He had hamstrings. He had a back. I can go back and show you photos and videos of Iain after this. He had all these muscles, guys. They didn't just disappear. They're not developed. Again, pulling back in the rowing motion. This entire thing should light up like a Christmas tree. It's not. And this is gradually receding up here now. I don't think it was this bad even at the Olympia. It's getting a lot worse. It's not getting better. This muscle should be popping. These muscles should be popping. His erectors run all the way down his back like this, down the spine. They stop midway. I don't know what vertebrae this is right here, but probably L or thoracic, who knows, thoracic. And when he leans back, you can see right here, this one erector is way more three-dimensional and full than this one. This entire part of his back is gone. And this is just the reality of it. This is not me attacking Iain or anything. You can even tell, look, this one glute is a lot harder than the other one. I'm sure there's issues with his glutes firing. I'm sure there's issues with his hamstrings firing. I'm sure there's issues with his calves firing because half of his calves are gone. The inside part of his calves are gone. And, you know, he doesn't really do many poses after this. He hits a couple front poses. The conditioning looks good there. See what he does here. It looks hard here. This is good. This is a good video now that I enlarged it. It looks good here conditioning-wise. But Shoulders look good. This one's a little flat compared to this one. Might be a little inflamed from something. Who knows? Front lat isn't bad. The legs look good. I'm not going to lie. The legs look good. Looks great from the front and the sides. But I'm telling you, the back shots, this is going to be a problem, especially staying next to Hassan Mustafa. I mean, the fucking guy is a monster. Monster. Let me show you guys Iain from a couple years ago so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So you guys out there that think I'm like hating on Iain or trying to be, pick on Iain or whatever the fuck bullshit you guys try to say, let me just show you guys something here. 2019 Tampa Pro. Obviously, he's much smaller here, but it doesn't matter. You guys are going to see in a second how much different his back looks. See how much lower his attachments are? You see how you can see his erectors here, his lower back? There you go. Did you guys just see that? Look at this. Oof. Oof. See how the attachments come all the way down? You can see the erectors popping out through. It's not hard. You can actually see it starting to recede here a little bit already. He's worked that upper back really well. His upper back got a lot wider. Oh, there you go. Look at that money shot. Look at that. Even here, it's receding. Even here, it's receding. But even here, it's a lot lower. You see how much lower it is? But it started already here, actually. Look how much fuller his calves are even, and his hams, and his glutes, how much harder they are. And he's talked about this on Fouad's show, how his glutes don't get as shredded anymore. His abductors used to be a lot better. Look how much pop is for his hams here. And his calves are even, his calves aren't here really, but they're more here than they are now. Now they're just literally gone. Let's go back one more year. I didn't realize it started this early. I forgot. Let's go to 2018 Indy Pro. Let's see if is there photos or Vancouver. All right, Vancouver. There we go. Remember, this is 5 years ago, guys. Okay, 5 years ago. There's a calf. There's a ham. Let's see if there's any good angles for the back. Let's see if they have any. Oh, these photos are horrible, huh? Jesus Christ. Who took these photos? They're not even centered. All right, let's not use those photos. Bad idea. Let's try the Olympia. All right, so here we go. Again, see where his lats are attached here? Hams. Calves are, there's something there. Let's go back one more year. Let's go 2016, I guess, is the next year that he has. Vancouver. So he must have injured himself a while ago for this to happen. Wow, it's really low here. So it happened between those years. There you go. We just figured it out. It happened somewhere between 2016 and 2018. Because 2016, he had these, he had his back. Toronto, 2016. There we go. Let's see. Yep, he has a calf. Look, full calf. So he injured himself after these shows and then to 2018 sometime before these shows. Something happened those years. I guarantee he knows exactly what happened if you asked him. Iain, did you get hurt between 2016 after your pro shows and 2018 before your next show? Because look, he has a full calf. Full calf, full back, glutes firing. No issues at all. None. Zero. Nada. Perfectly fine. That sucks. I think I actually figured this out one day on video. I think I'm kidding myself. I don't think I not knew that. I don't think I did not know that. But it just, like, if he recognized this at the time, he could have easily addressed it. I'm not going to say fix it, but he could definitely easily addressed it and slow down the progression of that drastically. I mean, I'm not saying he could have fixed it, but he definitely could have avoided the atrophy for sure. And it's just unfortunate that these guys don't pay closer attention to these things. They don't actually say, you know what? Let me evaluate what's going on. Why is this happening? What am I feeling? What am I not feeling? What is not happening? And Iain is a very smart guy. Like, he's not a dumb guy. He's not a meathead. Iain's smart. He's intelligent. He's a thinking man. So I don't know how this got over his head and somehow just forgot and didn't even address it, because this kid is super, super critical of himself. You would have thought that he would have jumped right on top of this right away. And it sucks to see a really good bodybuilder, still super young, have these type of issues where he can't fix now. This is not reversible. I mean, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You're not reversing this because this is the same situation with Rami, Akeem Williams. Jay Cutler had the same issue. Hunter. Someone else today named a couple more people that I forgot about that I didn't even know had this issue. Rolly Winkler, I think they said. Someone said Dennis Wolf. Dennis Wolf did not have this issue because Dennis Wolf just had high lats. That was just his genetics. He didn't have low lats. Ian, I showed you guys visible proof that he had low lats. And I'm not saying this is something easy to absorb either as an athlete. Like you're going to be in denial, but you can only be in denial so long before it's going to bite you in the ass and you can't fix it. I mean, look, let me show you these photos. I put them on my video today, but this is Jay Cutler's back in his prime on the left. This is Jay Cutler on the right towards the end of his career. Thanks to Phil Viz for this video. I mean, these photos. He sent them to me today. But, I mean, it's clear as day that Jay Cutler had a back. Okay, what about this one, guys? Akeem Williams. Not the best images, but you get the idea. Look at Akeem Williams, the middle of his back, gone. Erectors, just slowly receding up. Same thing here. Perfectly good back, low attachments. You can see the attachments of the muscle. If you guys can't see them, showing you. Even the lower back, more 3D here. You can see where the spine is, the line, how much more muscle's there. Flatter, flat up here. Lats are fine, but all of this is done. I'll show you one more photo. It's our boy Rami. Unfortunately, Rami's having the same issue. All the muscles receding. This was New York Pro on the left. I know exactly when this photo was taken. I know the backdrop. Doesn't have it anymore. Muscle, see how the muscle attachments here, down? Where's his muscle attachment now? Spreading in the middle. There's no muscle down here. It sucks, guys. It sucks to see. It does. It hurts to see bodybuilders get hurt like this, especially because all these guys are in their 30s. They're in their 30s. Like, they should not have these issues. And it sucks that they're having these type of issues, but it's a reality of the situation, and it makes it worse that they're denying it. Like, they're pretending like it doesn't exist. They're pretending like it doesn't happen. They're pretending like this can't be made. It's not possible. No way. I'm fine. It's a fullness, sodium, carb up. Oh, it's the way I'm training. I changed my training up. Come on, guys. Like, you know, this is not, that's not the reality of it. Last thing, let's end this on a positive note. Let's bring the spirit back up. You guys ready? Let's look at this fucking freakazoid. What the fuck is this? Just take a second to look at this. Just look at that chest. How is that possible? His chest is that big. I've never seen a front lat spread like that in my life. His chest looked like implants. The motherfucker's got implants for a chest. See how low his lats are? Fuck. Look at those calves. I gotta work on my calves. Back doubles needs a little more meat, though. It still needs more meat, but it's getting there. He looks fucking fantastic, though. Jesus Christ, his chest is huge, bro. I've never seen a man's chest like that before. No homo. That is fucking nuts. I've never seen a front lat spread look like that with someone's chest that thick up top. Did you guys catch it? Look at that. Look how much his chest pops out. It's almost popping out as much as his fucking delts are. I have never seen a chest like that before. You could see it sticking out of the mirror. Holy shit, that's fucking impressive. I'm going to read a comment. Let's write a comment. I've never seen someone's chest look like this in a front lat spread. It's literally your chest shelf. I'm going to write your chest shelf is literally bigger than your delts. I love Andrew Jack. I think Andrew Jack is going to win Olympia one day. I think Nick will win one. I think Hunter will win one. I think Derek. I think, well, Huddy did. I think Andrew Jack. I think Samson. I think all these guys are going to get one. Maybe not Hunter, but I think I do really highly think the other guys will. It's just mind blowing to me, like what Andrew Jack looks like. Mind blowing to me. It just doesn't make sense. Like the amount of muscle he's putting on such a short period of time. This is what causes other bodybuilders to try to rush things because they think, oh, Andrew Jack did it in 3 months. I can do it too. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. Oh, look at those people talking shit about me. He's not your boy. Stop riding him already. Well, watch this. Riding him? It's called. So let me get this straight. Right. So let me get this straight. You get mad when I talk about Iain Valliere's back. You get mad when I compliment someone. What is allowed from you fair weather fans? Yeah, boom. This is what I don't understand. People are so weird. That's why I talk shit. Lawyers are on it. People asking on the YouTube channel, lawyers are on it. That's what's on it. I don't have time to do that shit. I got to make content. I got to make videos. I got to help coach people. I got shit to do. I don't have time to waste on YouTube anymore. I spent 15 days doing everything I can to get the channel back, and lawyer's time. Not my time, it's lawyer's time. All right, so that concludes today's video. Don't forget, all these videos, all my content, always sponsored by Old School Labs. Guys, check out Nitro 3D. That's my intra workout. We have the vegan protein that we launched, 2 new flavors that are amazing. Vintage Brawn, which is our whey isolate. We have creatine. We have intra workout, like my product. We have post workout. We have pre-workouts, Blast Max. Unbelievable. We have fat burners. Anything you need. And May 20th, 5 days from now, is Alpha Elite's big drop. Make sure you guys check out the drop on my Instagram. I'm talking about it every day. Explain to you guys the items in the drop. And if you guys want to buy anything from Old School Labs or Alpha Elite, use my code NickBS. Don't forget the support. It's very much appreciated. Try Old School Labs out. You will not be upset if you tried. If you are, you just tell us. We'll give you your money back. It's very simple. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.